Well, that's the unmistakable skyline of the Strip in Las Vegas. We're in the Cockspur Phenom 100, sitting outside Atlantic business jets, fitting really for a biz jet, I guess. We're going to be flying today into Sedona. We're not going to do a very detailed flight, it's just an enjoyment one. We've got the time of day set to dawn, so it should really be just utterly beautiful. And when we get to Sedona, we're going to switch to dusk, so we really get to enjoy the sights at that end. So the flight's not going to really take 24 hours. We're just going to move the clock forward. Okay, so let's get in the aircraft. We're just going to do this is a quick flight. We're not going to do it to any level. So we've got the torch on so we can actually see what we're doing. So let's get the batteries on, 1 and 2. We'll get the checklist, and we'll go to the equipment page, and we'll get the GPU on, and we put the ground power on. There we go. And let's get some overhead lighting on. We'll get our nav light, and we'll get some backlighting, down lighting, and we'll put some cabin lights on because they're very nice in the back. So there we go. We'll switch on the middle screen, and I mean I can program the Garmin 1000 screen. I know how to do it, but we're going to cheat. We're going to use the GTN 750 from PMS 50, just setting the baro pressure to inches of mercury, which should be correct. So I'm going to hit B. I've got active sky running. So let's, without further ado, bring in the GTN 750. It takes a second or two to appear, and while that's happening, we're just going to take a quick look at the route. So Las Vegas, we're going to operate off 19 right, which is literally 5 yards away, 50 yards away from where we're based, and we're on the RASLR 3 departure, which is basically runway heading, then a left turn outbound to RASLR, and then it's a fairly straight line really all the way through to Drake VOR. And then we're going to follow the RNAV 03 from the Dirty transition. I love the names, Dirty, Balmy, it's brilliant. Mingy, goodness me, what are they like? I think they have a bit of a laugh when they do these. So we'll have a quick look at the departure. So it's from 19 right, so it is straight ahead pretty much to this waypoint below 7,000. So that'll be our first altitude. I don't think we'll be anywhere near 7,000, to be fair to it. And then it's T-tone at or above 8,000, then VIVS at or above 10, and then RASLR at or above 13. So we should be easily above that. So anyway, 7 will be our initial altitude. So let's get the route programmed in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back onto the screen. I'm going to pop it off onto the other screen so I will see it and you won't. So let's do origin. So it's a Kilo Lima Alpha Sierra, and the destination is Kilo Sierra Echo Zulu. We're going to add a waypoint. The first one will be ZIVSI, so ZIVSI. Then we're going to do perfume, so PRFUM. Then we've got Truckee, TRUKE. That can't be the right. Truxie, not Truckee. Truxie. I'm not going to Alaska. Goodness me. And next one is Sino, so SINHO, Sierra India November Hotel Oscar. And Baymi, so BEYMI. Then we've got Hobbs or Hopes, HOBES. And then lastly we've got Drake VOR, which is Delta Romeo Kilo. Enter. Okay, so we're going to click on Sedona, then add a procedure. So we'll do departure first, so it'll be the RASLR 3 from runway 19 right. We're going to load that, and then we'll go back to Sedona, add another procedure which will be the approach, and this will be the RNAV, and the transition is dirty. There we go, and we'll load that. So that's the flight plan done. We're going to fly odds, so we're going to try and make it up to 27,000. Not sure we will, because the temperature in the States at the moment is really quite high, so yeah, we might not get terribly good climb performance, but we'll see. So I can get rid of this now. There we go, and I'm just going to bring up the chart. So the departure was a heading 194 direct DEREW out of below 7. So we need to get 7 dialed into the altitude window. Oops, gone straight up to 9. How about that? It's much faster than the oops, I've gone too far. 7, and heading is 194, so we need to just press the heading button and then just drag it across to 194, which we have. There we go. But we'll be on FMS. There we go. So that's correct. And I think that's what we need to do. Having a bit of a mental block here. Right, so let's just get the checklist up. So the GPU is still on. We'll keep that running and get them to disconnect it after we've got number, which side is it on? It's on our side, so we'll start number 2, then we'll disconnect it. So the doors and the covers, the cargo doors, control locks are all removed. I've got rid of the yoke, and so we can get oxygen on, get our generators on, the bus tie, and fuel pump goes to auto, passenger signs go to belts, and personal electronic devices, PED, and hydraulic pump will come on afterwards. So ignition for number 2 can go to auto, and we'll get the beacon on. Nav, where's the beacon? I think the beacon might come on automatically in this. Let's have a look. If it's on now, it's not, but we do have positional lights. So if we start the engines, then we get the beacon, and we know it's automatic. I think they are actually. So start and then run. Parking brake is on, just check that. So I think, there we go, kicks off on its own. Don't need to put the fuel on or anything in this one. Lovely, we like that. Okay, generator 1 bus is off, we know that, but we'll get them to disconnect the GPU. So GPU can come off. Let's get the checklist. GPU can come away, And now we can start number 1. Fuel flow we've got, light up, and the big fan is turning. Oil pressure and temperature registering. A bit good. Good starts on 1 and 2. So that's all fine. Hydraulic pump can come on. Pitter heat can come on. No ice protection needed at the moment. We do need to get our bleeds on, so we get both. Automatic for pressurization and temperature seems to be in the middle. I don't think we've got environmental systems modelled in this, but never mind. Okay, so 1 stage of flap. It's in the Cockspur Phenom 100. Flaps indicated here in degrees, but actually they should be indicated in just in position. So 1, 2, 3, and then full. So we've got flap 1 set at the moment, and we've got, this is FADEC of course, but this is a soft position here, so you just drag it up to the appropriate detent. It's not actually a detent as such, but it will enunciate here what your setting is. So I think we're good. So let's get these little lights off. How do you do that? Oh, well, I don't know. Let's find out. Let's just, there we go, they're off. We'll get taxi light on, and we'll just taxi off very gently. So okay, you need to move out of the way, matey. No, no, okay, you just carry on. And you. No, okay, well, you know, collateral damage, what can I say? So let's just avoid this CJ4. We're clear on the right, we're clear on the left. We're not using ATC. We're just going to follow the taxiway, the yellow brick road to wherever it is. I can't see where it is. I think that's the line there. Okay, I think we're in the right place. To be honest, I don't really know. Let me have a quick look outside. I think that'll help. That will help get my bearings. So, am I in the right? No, I'm not in the right place. I should be over there. Gosh, it's confusing. This is scenery by Fly Camper. Anyway, that's 19 right just there. So let me just get on in the right place. I'm a bit embarrassing, really. I might edit that out. Okay, we're not going to change the V speed. We're just going to run with what it's got. So let's find that yellow brick road. Where is it? Is it here? I don't rightly know. There. There it is. Hooray. Okay, so let's come to a stop. We're just going to do the takeoff configuration test, which in the Embraer is this little button here.
Takeoff OK.
Takeoff OK. Lovely. Alright, so let's get landing light on. Strobe light is on. We didn't check if the beacon was on, but it is. So it is automatic. Okay. This little jet just looks $1 million, doesn't it? I do wish Cockspur would sort out 1 or 2 little niggles on it. Anyway, let's press the toga button just to get the flight director on, and we'll just take taxi on. So we're going to be clear on the right and clear on the left. Okay, we'll just taxi on, then we'll get the Okay, so we're lined up, well, more or less after a fashion. So we'll get the timer on, and we need to go to start, so we just use the big button on the FMS here and press enter. There we go, so the timer's running. I'm going to get the flight plan on. There it is. Stop it blinking at me. Okay, so I think we are good to go. So I need to bring the throttles up gently and then make sure the engines are stable, and then bring it up to takeoff power. Takeoff power we've got set, thrust is set, speed is alive, and we're looking for 90 knots. And like the Mustang, the C510 from Cockspur, this little airplane flies beautifully, it really does. Predictable and nice handling. So 90 knots, and there we go, whoops. Not very good takeoff, not a very good demo flight today, but I don't mind. Okay, so flat gear coming up. Right, just trying to follow the flight director. Okay, and these aircraft are designed to be flown single pilot, so the idea is that you take off and put the autopilot on, so we will do that. Autopilot, yaw damper, nav, and we'll go flight level change, which is indicated airspeed. So at the moment it's going to fly at 127 knots, so we're just going to accelerate to about 180. And 169 we've got. Flaps can come up. And let's go 180 on the speed. There we go, and it will accelerate now until it gets to 180. Bring the power back to climb thrust. There we go, we have climb thrust shown. There we go, and it's just accelerating past 170. A little bit of turbulence. And now it's hit 180. The rate of climb will rocket upwards. Okay, so we've got an outside air temperature of 36, which is just, well, that's fairly hot. Remember, this is 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so we're in the air. We can get rid of our landing lights. Passenger signs can stay on. We'll keep them on until about 10,000. And look at this scenery. Just get next to view. Look at this. This little jet is just beautiful. I mean, the modelling is superb. They've done a very good job. I just wish they would finish it. It's much better than the Mustang, and the Mustang flies beautifully, and that really deserves some work as well. But this has got nice details in it, like the reflective sun visors. So let's have a look. So 180 on the climb. Let's just centre our heading bug. We're climbing at 2,000 feet per minute pretty much at 180 on climb mode. The visibility from this aircraft is nice. It's not as good as the Mustang, but really it's not bad at all. And so if you are after a little biz jet, this one I would recommend, more so over the 510, because this has got much better system depth. Not that these are really replicated, at least they're clickable, and the engine instrumentation or system instrumentation is modelled. It's not in the Mustang, and they really do need to do that in the Mustang. But it's also not quite right, because this is the Garmin 1000 system in the Phenom, but actually the Phenom has got a modified Garmin 1000 system. It's called the Prodigy. There's got all sorts of synaptic pages that are not modelled by Cockspur, which is a shame, but they say that if they did model them, they'd have to increase the costs. So at 7,000 feet we can now climb, keep on climbing, we'll go straight up to our cruise because I'm really not in the mood to. So we'll go up to, let's go up to 27, see if we can make it there. We'll do flight level change, and we'll bring it back to 210. See if that helps. So let's go up to 27. We have, so we're 8,000 feet, so transition altitude here is 18,000, so we're climbing at 210 at pretty much 1,300 feet per minute, and we're okay. And we can just adjust the range on this. There we go. And another benefit of the Phenom over the Mustang is, apart from the fact it's more powerful, so it has a greater range, I think, and speed, is that the Garmin screens, or if you prefer Prodigy screens, have actually got around the bezels, around the outside, these soft buttons, whereas the Mustang does not. The Mustang has this panel, but it is mostly inoperative. These little keys here don't work, but these do in the Mustang. However, this whole panel, as in the real aircraft, is positioned behind the throttles, so it's much harder to use it because you need to be clicking here to get an operation that's happening here. Whereas the Phenom, not only have you got this panel, the alphanumeric keypad, just below the screen, but you've also got the bezel controls, which the Mustang does not have on the central screen. It's got them on the primary flight displays and the co-pilot one. So, outside air temperature 29. Let's centre our heading bug. Let's go and have a look in the back. So, I think we do. There we go. So, we've got no passengers in at the moment. It's got nicely modelled loo. And I think in the Phenom, actually, this toilet here, I'm not quite sure whether, no, there's, I think there should be a cushion that goes on top of this. You don't really just want to walk in just to see a toilet seat. There should be a cushion, because in many Phenoms this is actually what's called a belted lavatory, so it's actually legal to use it as a seat. And in the Phenom 300 there'd be a sink here, but this the baby Phenom doesn't have that. So let's go back outside. I like the lighting in the cockpit. We'll go forward a bit. We'll close the door to the loo. If I can remember how. There we go. It's nice to have a completely enclosed loo though. I don't know if the... I don't think the tables work in this. I think they work in the Mustang. No, I don't think we've even got... No, you see, there are things that this has got that the Mustang hasn't, and things that the Mustang has that this one doesn't. The Mustang's got window shades, but it doesn't in this. Do these lights work? Yeah, they do. So anyway, I mean, it is very nicely modelled. There's the door and a handle to open it, and this would in the real world be a little kitchen area where you've got probably an espresso machine and a nice bucket for cold drinks. So let's go back to the cockpit. There we go. So we're climbing now, passing 1,000. Outside air temperature is 13, so it's beginning to drop, so hopefully we'll get an increase in performance shortly. So what we can do above 10,000, we can just let the passengers sit out their seats. And actually it would be quite nice to see if those signs do work. Let's have a look, because I did notice them. The signs ahead, they do work. And on the other side. Yes, the passenger signs work. That's a nice touch. But yeah, there needs to be a bit of consistency, I think, across the range. So I do recommend this aircraft. It looks $1 million, or it looks about $5 million really, and it flies beautifully, and a lot of it's functional, but still things that need tidying up. So what have we got? Let's just check the checklist. So everything that you need. Well, I'm not going to go through that. And the CAS panel works, which is nice, the warning panel. Let's have a quick look outside. It's just a lovely, lovely little airplane. I think it's on the marketplace for $25 or something like that. So climbing at 1400 feet per minute, 1450, 1500, so we are going, you know, the performance is increasing as the temperature is going down, so 5 degrees, 4 degrees, so that's really coming down rather quickly, 3, so yeah, we're getting a rise in the performance as the temperature comes down. Like most VLJs, it doesn't have thrust reverses. It's got good braking. It's not fly-by-wire, the aircraft, although the later jets, biz jets, are fly-by-wire. But it's actually brake-by-wire, believe it or not. So it's got electronics that command your braking through the pedals, and they're very effective brakes. I think they're a bit hard to get used to. That's what I read. But it's nicely modelled, and you know, the texturing is okay, not the best. This is where you'll see it's not so good. This is supposed to be one of those like soft covered, textured covers, and yeah, it's not brilliantly done, really. If you're looking at the seat, then I think you're looking in the wrong place. Okay, so 18,000, so we can go to standard barrow, and to do that on the Garmin 1000 you go to PFD options and then standard barrow, and then that's changed there. Okay. So we're climbing at 1750, and the outside air temperature is now -8, so yeah, it's gonna improve. Okay. So let's have a quick look at the arrivals. I'm going to bring in the charts. We can get rid of the RASLR 3 and go to the RNAV runway 03 at Sedona. Sedona is at 4,831 feet, and it's a pretty stock RNAV. So we're coming in from Dirty, which is 10 miles to the northwest, and then we get to this waypoint Huckin we're at 9,500, then we get to Exuti at 8,000, Barmy at 7.2, that's our final approach fix, so we should be fully configured for landing there, and then 3-degree glide down to our missed approach, which is, I think we're category B, I think 5740, and but the weather in Sedona is absolutely glorious. So we've got 040, 11 knots, clear skies, 10 mile visibility, and temperature 28, dew point -2, and 3010 for the QNH. So yeah, it's we'll be visual easily by then. But we will reset the time. So we've got a dusk arrival. We won't do that yet. So it is dirty at 9.5, then we get to Hucking at 9.5, then descent to 8, balmy 7.2, and then our missed approach 5,740. Okay, so the MSA is 10.4 in all directions, and as I said, it's 4,831 feet in elevation. Okay, so done that. And you can get charts on the screen here. We've got Naviggraph. You just get them like this. There we go. Ta-da. So how are we doing? So we're just passing 233 for 27. I should have run beyond ATC really. Don't know why I didn't. Got a bit of cloud. This is not my replay, this is from flightsims.co, but I did meddle a bit with the tail number. Centre that old heading bunker. There we go. And like most very light jets, this has got, you climb on flight level change, which is indicated airspeed mode. And as you get to the higher elevations, you need to dial that back. So really, probably about 2.9 or something, we should dial it back to about 180. But there is a schedule. I've amended the checklist to have the speeds, the correct speeds there. It's a little bit small to read, so I've got it elsewhere as well. So you climb on flight level change, and you adjust the speed. Unlike the Mustang, where you use the knurled wheel to change the indicated airspeed, on the Phenom you've actually got a dedicated speed button below the flight level change, and that knob there changes the speed here. So we're just levelling off, doing about 1,000 feet per minute. That'll do. So whilst you climb on flight level change, you can descend from VNAV on these things, and that's very convenient. Now, I don't know how long we've got to go before our top of descent, but we're just going to wait until we get until we level off. Then I'll get cruise setting that you stay in climb until the aircraft builds up some speed, then you bring it back to cruise. So there we go, it's captured. We're just going to level off any second. Here we go, starting to lower the climb rate. So it's a really accomplished little airplane. It deserves much, much more. I have a massive soft spot for the C510 Mustang, but Cockspur need to sort it out. They really do. It's been 2.5 years since release, and I've had a lot of dialogue with the developer and their lead moderator, and their plan is not to make public their plans, so you don't know what they're doing. You really don't. And I'm just hopeful that they will address the issues with the aircraft. So let's have a look. We're just accelerating now. Keep it on climb power for a little bit longer. So it's got full VNAV capability for descent, and we'll switch that on in a second. We'll just come up to waypoint change. There we go. Next waypoint. So we've got airspeed of 240 at the moment. It's not going to go much faster than that. You've got this little magenta line here which shows you your speed, where your speed will be in 5 seconds. You can use that to very accurately position your throttles. So it seems to be topping out at about 245, maybe 250. So I'm just going to bring the throttles back now to cruise. So just bring them back gently until I get cruise shown at the top of the engine instruments. There we go. Cruise. Okay. So 250, Mach 0.62, and we've got a ground speed of 370, and that's a lot faster than the Mustang. Or is it actually? Because it can do 250. That's its max speed. So this will be faster, but at altitude, not necessarily at this altitude. But it is more powerful. The Mustang's got 1,450 or something pounds of thrust, 2 of those, and the Phenom's got 1,740 or something each side, so it is significantly more powerful. Okay, so now that we're on cruise setting, CRZ, and we've topped out at about 250, what we can do, we can just look at the flight plan. So bring flight plan up, and here it tells us our top of descent, and that is in 5 minutes and 50 seconds, pretty much. So as long as I dial in the lower altitude and have VNAV enabled, and it will then say VNAV path. Here the aircraft will start to descend on its own as per the constraints, and those constraints I will show you. So in order to look at the flight plan, you just need to press this knob to get the flashing light. When you got the flashing cursor, when you got that, you can actually scroll down. So we've got Huckin at 9,500, dirty, it's planning on getting us at dirty at 12,500 more or less. We don't have to be at 9,500 for that, but we do need to be 9,500 at Huckin, and it will do that for us. It will get us there at that altitude. So anyway, I can switch off the flashing cursor, because that means that you can edit, you can adjust stuff, and I don't want to do that. I just want to see this, so I just press this knob here to switch on the flashing cursor. And we can do the same on this side. So just get the flashing cursor and use the big outside wheel here just to scroll down a little bit. There we go. Okay, welcome back. We had a short interval, but we're still en route to Sedona. It might be that somebody's already there in the 152. We'll have a look. Anyway, we should be getting close to our top of descent. So there it is. It's just 15 or so miles away, so we need to prep for that. But I'm going to begin by just resetting the time of day, and I'm going to go, as I said, to a dusk flight. So that's what we want about there. So let's give that a go. Alright, so if you remember, the arrival was dirty and then Huckin. Huckin is at 9.5, so 9.5 will be our initial altitude, so I'm going to dial that in. So I'm just going to click and hold the Alt Select knob and whiz right past 9.5. Let's go back up to it. 9.5, there we go, and then we click on VNAV here, VNV, and as you can see we've got VNAV path. So top of descent is 1 minute and 42 seconds away, it's written there, and the aircraft should start descending. All I need to do is to manage the throttle, because pointing downhill it will accelerate, and of course I'll then use the magenta speed, what do they call it, it'll come to me in a sec, the magenta label here which shows you where your speed will be, prediction will be in 5 seconds. I can use that to set the throttles very accurately. So we are now a minute away. Let's stop a descent. Embraer famous for their sort of ram's horn yokes. You get those on the E-jets, but not their later biz jets, because of course the later ones have got fly-by-wire, so you've got a side stick. Come up to 15 seconds. There we go. And down we go. So I'm just going to pull back the throttles a little bit. There's a speed vector there, which predicts where you're going to be in 5 seconds. I'm just going to pull the throttles back and just manage the descent. There we go. So just reduce the size of that magenta indicator. It's gone the other way now, so just power up a little bit. So we'll stay at around 250 knots. Okay, so we're coming down 1900 feet per minute. And because Sedona is already nearly 5,000 feet up, means we're only 20,000 feet to go, so it's maybe a good opportunity to strap in our customers. Ding dong. So 249 on speed. Just bring that up a little bit. There we go. This little airplane's an absolute delight. And it really, I wish they would just fix the 1 or 2 issues that there are with it. There aren't many. It's really lovely. So this is the one I'd recommend. There are 3 or 4 business jets that are worthwhile. Unfortunately, Cockspur C510 Mustang is not one of them, but it could easily be if they paid some attention to it. It's been 2 years since I was in contact with the developer, and I hassle them every now and then, and I just don't get anywhere. I don't know what they're doing, whether they're going to improve it or not. Anyway, this is one I do recommend. Another one is the Honda Jet, which is superb. It's not everybody's cup of tea because it's so futuristic and the engines are on pylons on the wings, but it's really good. Auto throttle, and it will go up to 43,000. It's just a lovely thing. It's a bit like PMDG. It does everything it's supposed to do perfectly. And the other one that does everything it's supposed to do perfectly is the Flight FX Cirrus SF50 Vision Jet, and that is utterly superb. Now, it won't take you high, it'll go up to maximum 31,000. It's only got a single engine, but goodness me, it's a lot of fun. It really, really, really is. Very capable little jet. You can put 5 adults in it, not full fuel though, but it's good. It's not fast. Do about 300 knots. But yeah, it's very good. Auto throttle, and lovely, and well worthwhile. It is about the same price point as this, and the Honda Jet as well. Which one do I prefer? Well, I like all of them, but I think the Phenom, it's got my head and my heart. Let's just look at it again. You know, let's just look at it again. Yeah, that's why I like it. Look at it. It looks like a few $1 million, and it looks sleek and fast, and it's got a lot of ramp presence. When you've got that door open, it's a full length door with stairs on it. So you've got, on the apron when you're walking out to it, it's got presence. With the Citation jet, much lower. You've got 3 little steps to get into it. Whereas this one here, a full air stair. Amazing. What have we got then? So we've got the sun that's coming down. I think we might need to change the timing of the sun. They're passing 1900. We can soon change to standard pressure, which I will just find out what it is. It is 3010. Alright, so we're below 18,000, so we can change to 3010, but I'm just going to let it reduce altitude a little bit before doing that. And the barrow is here, the bigger knob. If you zoom in, you'll see that the barrow relates to the bigger knob, not the triangular one that's smaller. And I think we can change it, yeah. So 3010. There we go. So local QNH is set. And I don't know if you noticed, but in resetting the QNH, the aircraft needed to catch up a little bit with the VNAV path, so it increased our rate of descent momentarily. Oh, that's a very bright bit of sunshine there. Let's reset our heading knob. Just click the heading knob to center the heading bug. Good airmanship to do that. So we are just en route now to dirty, then it'll be hucking. And I will slow down significantly when we get to dirty. This will be a full flaps landing. There are no spoilers on this. The Citation Jet Mustang C510 has got spoilers, but this one doesn't. You don't really need them, to be fair to it. Let's just change the time of day a little bit more. Let's go to quarter now. Maybe a bit more. Because you get to see the lovely rich redness of these beautiful rock formations. So we're just overhead dirty, so I'm going to slow down. Just going to pull the throttles back, and we're going to come back to about 180. I'm going to center the heading knob. And what we're going to do also, just look at the approach plate. So the inbound track is 033. I might set that now on the on the heading, so 033. That will be a good. So we've got the inbound track now set on the heading bug, and we're just slowing down to 180, and we should be at Huckin at 9.5. So we're nicely set now on the inbound track to Huckin. Sedona's just in there. I don't think that's it there, but it could be it there. It's there anyway, somewhere there. And just a bit further on, a bit further east, is Monument Valley. That's a lovely place to explore. So anyway, we're at idle, and the speed is still dropping back. So we're just 10,900 at the moment, and we've just got 4 miles or so till we get to Huckin. So what we're going to do, let's get the next altitude dial in. We might as well go straight down to 5,740, so we'll do 5,800 on the altitude select. The aircraft will not let us descend below the altitudes because of the VNAV. So 5,700 we've got set and checked, so we're just coming up to a turn in 3 seconds, and we're just 600 feet shy of 9,500, and as we turn that corner and go beam Huckin, we should be at 9.5. I'm going to zoom into that a little bit. You see we're not quite at Huckin, so yeah, I mean that's pretty good VNAV. Look at that. We will get to Huckin exactly at 9.5. Okay, so I'm going to go flaps 1. There we go. We just switch now to the next waypoint, Exuti. I'm going to go flaps 1. And if you remember, the final approach fix was balmy, indicated here with a little propeller, and we need to be at 7.2 there, and we need to be fully configured. So 7.2. Just going to scroll the flight plan so I can see it all here. There it is. I want to zoom in a bit. There we go. So just coming up to Exuti, and then balmy. So Exuti should be at 8,000. And balmy at 7.2. Okay, so we can go flaps 2. And we're just a stone's throw now, 2.5 miles from balmy. So we need to be fully configured for landing, so gear can come down, and then I'll incrementally drop the flaps. So gear coming down, and we can go full flaps, or flaps 3. So 3 greens we've got. Let's get the landing lights on. Whoops. And we'll go flaps 3. We need a bit of power now just to make sure we don't go below our reference speeds. Full flap, and we're now just short of balmy. We've got the runway in sight, and look at those beautiful mountains. Just go outside, look at that. This is Sedona, absolutely lovely. Perched up on the hill, nearly 5,000 feet in elevation, but look at this. And you've got Monument Valley just further out to the east. It's just superb. There we go. And we've got a landing light on, nicely illuminating the nose gear. This aeroplane is lovely, so I do recommend it. Oh, we're getting a bit slow, so whoopsie daisy. Right, so autopilot is off, and yaw dampers are coming off, and full flap we've got. So I'm too busy looking outside the window. See how things can go wrong? Goodness me. Right, so we're going to stay at around 100 knots. Keep the runway right in the right position in the windshield. A little bit left of track, but I'm just correcting for that now. On the glide, there's our little diamond there, so I'm just a little low, but not so bad. I'm trying to trim the aircraft out. So 100 knots or so, that's a nice safe speed with full flaps, gear down, passenger signs are on, the landing light is on, and we've got clearance. Still a little bit left of centre, but we're okay. And we've got the wind coming from our right, but it's 3 knots, so it's not, it's not significant wind really. So I can see the lights now, so I've just got, I think, 1 red, 3, 1 white, 3 reds, or 2 of each, a little bit small to read. And this is just a beautiful airport. Sedona is one of the featured airports in MSFS, so it is nicely detailed and deservingly so, because look at these rock formations, just magical. Okay, there are a couple of add-ons you can get which increase the immersion at Sedona, but also give the shrubbery a bit of a haircut. So I am just still slightly low, but only by a whisker, and I'm just trying to stay at 100 knots. So we're on a stable approach. We've got 1 white, 3 reds, so we are just a bit low. And what you do to correct that, you just fly straight for a bit. Just fly level. There we go. 2 of each. Now we can continue on. And over the numbers will just decrease to about 90 knots. Okay. So I think it's very important to have this view in this simulator. As you can see your primary flight display, or your 6-pack, depending which aircraft you're in. So we are now a little bit too close for those pappies to be really of any use. So now we go. So there we go. Just decreasing that to 90 knots. Not my best, but I'll take it. We'll try and come off, not that one. We'll take the next one. Here. And I'll just come to a stop quickly with the other side of the hold. Just so you can see how lovely this area is. So just get past the hold And we just need to check we're clear on the right. We are, and we're clear on the left. And we are. Just get the taxi away, then I'll come to a stop. Okay, so let's just clean up. So we do flaps can come up. Do taxi light. Strobe light can come off. And let's just have a quick look outside. Flight directors can come off. And I didn't even worry about a walk code, did I? Anyway. Look at this. Look at the beauty of this place. Sedona. If you've not been here, really worth a visit. This was one of my favourite routes. This is from Las Vegas. Alternatively, Catalina Island. But you shouldn't fly a jet there. But it doesn't stop you in a simulator. Okay, so it was not a dusk till dawn, but a dawn till dusk flight. There we go. I think this is where the cafe is. Yep. And we'll see if we can find a parking stand. This is probably for light aircraft, but you know, we're in a simulator, so we can do as we please. There we go. And there we go. We'll take that one there. Idle taxi lights, and just shut the engines down. Number one, there's no beacon lights, so the beacon light should be off now, and it is. So it is automatic. And what we'll do, we'll just get Rampiece to hook us up with the GPU, put that on so we're not draining the battery, and let's just open the doors, which we didn't do before. So chocks can come on, cargo doors, and I think they take a second. There you go. And we can open the door by clicking, I think, somewhere here. There's a click spot somewhere. No, maybe that's the other aeroplane. There we go. There. So, see, when you come up to it, it's got a full air stair, which gives it a lot of ramp presence. So, there we go. We're at Sedona, Kilo Sierra Echo Zulu, and I hope you've enjoyed that flight. See you on the next one. Bye now.